Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars and Keeve YouTube channel. In this video, we're going over the Fanttik NB8 Ultra, probably in the last 3 months, the most requested review to do. I get a DM every few days. Have you tried this? Have you tried this? I've had it for a month now. And why is that? Because, well, I wanted to see what we could do upgrade-wise, and I've branched off and not just sticking on Amazon, but I went to AliExpress and I found some adapters that's going to allow us to take this and use any hose, any spray gun. It has a digital display. It says it can do 300, 500, and 725 PSI. Now, since we have the adapters, we can actually truly test those PSI numbers, and we can tell you what nozzle sizes we can use with this. For those of you who don't really care about the upgrade process, but want this to be a little less cumbersome, I've also found an adapter that you can use to change this to quarter-inch quick connect that obviously shortens this up considerably. It says don't use any detergents, but I think rinseless wash would be pretty good in this. But also say like you're an apartment dweller and you use your rinseless wash in like a sprayer, right? And this will be your way to knock off all of the big grime and dirt off the car before you touch it with that contact wash. Using it for your spotless rinse. Say if you're at an apartment that actually allows you to have a water spigot, you can have some deionized water in here for your spotless final rinse, and then you would hook the hose directly up to it to do your original rinsing and then use that as the final. I mean, those of you who go to the dog park with your dogs, you can do this. Mountain bikes, you come back from a mountain bike, just dirt and mud everywhere, just detaches very easily like that. And actually this part has a handle, so you can carry it just like this if you have your reservoir, your bucket here separate. As you can see here, there's a quick connect right here. That's just a normal Gardena style quick connect that you can hook up to your water hose. It'll snap right on, and you'll be able to use direct water hose connection to this. This thing just goes on really easy. It has a hook right here that hooks onto this part, so it keeps that stability. So you have your battery charging right here. It's actually a real battery charging port. It uses a laptop style brick. So it's not a USB-C, as you can tell. So you know it's going to charge much faster. You have a button here for the on off, and then a button to change the different levels. The wheels, obviously just plastic, not the greatest in the world. It has on the back a handle that you can pull all the way up. You have markings from 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3 gallon, 4 gallon. You have markings from 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15 liters. You've got one of these guns. We've got the turn connect right there. And then obviously this snaps in. So you don't have like individual nozzles. You have a all-in-one type solution. If I could figure out how to snap that in, there we go. It has a 25 degree, 15 degree, 40 degree, 65 degree, and a 0 degree. Now I can't tell what the 25, 15, and 40 degree are in a 65 orifice size-wise, but using my pin gauge set here, I can measure the orifice of the 0 degree, and it comes out to, I think it's 0.89, so it comes out to about a 2.0 size tip. The gun itself as well, the trigger is a bit wonky, would be the word. It's better than a lot of some of that other cheap crap that you'll see out there. You know, a little thing back here, just a bit flimsy, and nothing really slides or snaps in there. Stuff just sits in there, and it's just like, you know, I mean, it's not, and this is too big to fit in this way. So that's why you have this strap on here. Your hose goes on this yellow piece, and it goes around and then snaps in. So your hose is there. Now, obviously, we're going to see what that can do with an MJJC. And I went on AliExpress as well, and I bought all kinds of different orifices for foam cannons. So we have a 1.25 in here. I have my normal 1.1. I have a 1, a 0.9, and a 0.8. So we can see where we can go on those. So finding these adapters on AliExpress wasn't easy. I had to do a lot of caliper measuring on these areas because these quick connects, they're a little weird. As you can see, some have a kind of a rounded flare. Some have a much more abrupt flare. Some have a flare that's just dead on the edge, but they all kind of have the same common kind of top. Best part though is they all work with this Fanttik right here. Buckle up. Don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to testing. So we got 4 gallons. I kind of want to see at what point do we tip over this way to where water will, right there. Water is now dripping out of there. I have secured this as tight as I possibly can. It's just this vent right here is going to leak. So if you had it on the side, it's going to leak. So if you store it in a car, it definitely needs to be upright. What I would advise is if you were to use this to travel, I would pop the bottle off and store the bottle separate like this. It does not leak out the bottom when it's not secured to the base. Then you can take it. Obviously, it is much heavier when it has liquid in it. It's got 4 gallons. That's about 32 pounds. Moves around pretty easily. Swiss Trax is not the easiest surface in the world for these types of wheels to move around, but it's very easy to move around, very easy to maneuver. And you know, this is a little loose up here, but it's very secure further down. You know, like a cheap luggage, something like that. We're just going to try it out in stock form. So we snap our hose down here, take our hose, we snap it into the bottom of this, put our wand, and now we have our end right here. As you can see, we are now fully pressurized and done. As you see, it's not very loud at all. 76 decibels from over here, so very quiet. Right now it's on high, and the display says 725. And it says 725 the whole time. So it's not actually giving you the true PSI rating. It's giving you what it thinks is the PSI that the high mark is. Then we're going to change it to middle. I believe it'll say 500. Yep, 500. And then we have low. Should be 300. There's your 300. I don't really care about those. Obviously, the battery is going to last longer. I believe it says it can last up to 58 minutes, which I would believe on the low side. So that leads me to believe on high, 20 minutes. We'll see in the end. So this is their 0 degree. It's a good bit of little pressure there. And here's their 15 degree. And one thing I've noticed is they're all going to be horizontal and not vertical. So we're going to have to do the whole, you know, sideways action. Actually hits pretty decent. It has a pretty uniform spray pattern. As you can see, we definitely have a little bit of a ramp up for sure. Maybe not a little bit, actually a little bit more. Maybe like a medium size ramp up or a little more than that, probably 2 seconds. 25 degree. This is the 40 degree. You see on the other ones that the pattern was more uniform, but as we get to the 40, you notice that the outers are definitely have a little bit more of a stream and the inside is a little lean. There and there versus here. If you're doing rinseless wash, the 65 degree is very much like what I've used in other videos, the 65 degree nozzle, to get a better distribution and coverage with the rinseless wash. See? Not a ton of mist, not wasting a lot of product. Let's put it in 300 to see what that looks like. It's also for those of you watering plants, stuff like that, on your back patio in your apartment. Very subdued, not a lot of mist, lots of good droplets, lots of good coverage. It's not bad. Maybe the 500 might be the way to go. Let's see here. Kind of that equal mix of everything. Yeah, there we go. Have it teared out to 0, so if we run for exactly 1 minute, we can take the weight and convert it to gallons and see how many gallons we can get in a single minute. Now, this is going to be slightly different. I'm going to have to go over like the minute, 1 second to make up for the ramp up. So it won't be dead on accurate. Hopefully we can do this without splashing ourselves in the face. All right, we got 7.96 pounds, which I know is not 1 gallon. 8.34 is a gallon. We're about 0.95 gallons per minute, which for a machine of this at that PSI, it's not bad at all, especially how quiet it is. Now we're going to check their 25 degrees, see if there's any difference between the two, because sometimes the nozzles are cut differently between the different degrees. They are cut exactly the same, 7.98. So that's too close together to be really a different size. And what I mean by nozzle size when it comes to pressure washers is there's a standard of 1.0, 1.5, 2.0, 2.5, and all the way up, right? And that's what that size nozzle can do at exactly 4,000 psi. So exactly 4,000 psi, this nozzle size should do 2 gallons per minute. Since we're in stock form, let's go ahead and see how it foams. Now, when it foams is you don't have to have this end here. It actually doesn't hook into this end. It can only hook into, about halfway down, which is fine with me because you don't want that foam cannon sitting way out here at the end, do you? I have the thing all the way at what's called max soap. Cool thing is it's one of the few ones that comes with a pressure washer that actually can go vertical and horizontal. I prefer vertical. And this is pure, straight, concentrated, incredible suds. And the reason I did this, I set up to the 100 millimeter mark, which is a little bit over 3 ounces. The reason I did that is because I want to see if this thing can just pull straight concentrated soap at a lesser level and not waste soap to where you can just fill this up with your straight concentrate, leave it there and go at it. Or if you need to dilute in this bottle to not spend $1 zillion on soap. Now, out of these, you're never going to get great, crazy good foam. It's just a way of getting soap onto the surface. This will clean just fine. And did we use a whole lot? Yeah, we used a good bit of soap. All right, so we used about 3 times. That's just like a 3-to-1 dilution. It's not much, but as it's thinner, it may pull differently. It may foam differently if we get it shaken up. I definitely think it covers a little bit better being thinned out a little bit. I think maybe that, obviously Incredible Suds is a very thick soap, so maybe a thinner soap would pull even faster. All right, here's your 40 degree. Six to 25. I might like 25 better. 25 degrees to me just feels a little bit better. You have more impact. You're narrowing that fan for this amount of power. Now we're just using the stock hose and the stock gun for right now with just that adapter that allows you to shorten this a little bit with a 2.0 tip. And you can see the difference here, especially in the precision cut of a better nozzle versus those stock nozzles. That's 800 PSI. That actually feels pretty decent. I mean, for what it is, you can't compare this to, any other normal electric pressure washer that plugs into the wall. Here's a 2.5 tip. 635. And last but not least, a 3.0. About 480. You saw the machine was struggling a little bit. I think we're pushing so much flow that it's overworking itself. So I don't think a 3.0 is gonna work. I got the bucket right here. It's not quite in the camera. I feel like changing the camera angle, but let's see real quick what this can do on the 2.5 flow wise. Yeah, we're 0.963, so not a huge improvement. Here's the MJJC foam cannon. There's a 1.25 in here right now. I know that's probably not going to do very well. Isn't enough water flow. But this is Incredible Suds. It is very highly concentrated. This is 32-to-1 dilution ratio. So in a foam can, just 1 ounce, and you fill it up to the max line, and that's basically all you need. Really good cleaning soaps, about 8.5. It's coating safe, but not completely pH neutral, but it cleans really good. Cars to Keep will save you 10% on this soap at either DIY Detail or the House of Rags. Now at the House of Rags, they have a much bigger selection of products from tons of other brands that you can mix and match to get to that free shipping a lot easier. Plus, right now this month, November 2024, it is Black Friday, 25% off the whole website. The size of the orifice is way too big for that. Let's put it with a 1.1. Yeah, look at her. Now you can tell the spray pattern's a little off. It's a little, strong on the outside, lean in the middle, but we got what I would consider foam cannon type foam. Here's rinsing with a 2.0 nozzle with that adapter. Yeah, that 2.0 I think is it. The entire time I sprayed, The motor stayed at a consistent rate. It didn't fluctuate up and down like it did with the 2.5 that I was trying. All right, let's see what this thing can do. Oh yeah, there we go. That's more like it. That is what we're looking for. I don't think we need to go down any further. You could go do a 0.9 because the 0.9 is exactly the same as the 2.0 that it's using. So we would get even thicker probably. So let's upgrade. And what we're going to use is the Uberflex hose, which I think would be what you would want to use with something like this. It's very lightweight, which will go with the lightweight, the fact that it's portable. And you can get these in 30 foot, 35 foot, I believe, much cheaper. 50 foot, I think, is a bit much for something like this. It's not tethered. You can move it around the car, so the length doesn't matter as much. We have our M22 adapter right here that we got from AliExpress. Snap that in here. There we go. And we have our Suprents here. This is an M22 swivel spray gun for 20 bucks. It swivels on an M22, so we didn't have to buy any quick connects. We just needed the one adapter. If you already had an Uberflex hose, you already had this gun, then you're good to go. Let's add on our pressure gauge and our 2.0 nozzle to see if the unrestricted hose and gun can help a little bit, or does it hurt a little bit, or does it work just the same? Exactly the same, about 800 PSI. Just the ease of this, even with this digital gauge on there, is so much better. This is normally about $345. It's like $350, $360, but they always have a coupon to get it to $340. But I got it at Amazon Prime Big Day deals for $252. Amazing deal. I've seen it on deals from time to time in the 270, 290 range, 300 range. So I would never really buy this at the 345 range or the 350 range that it shows. I think it's well worth it at 300, 350's a bit much. Here's a 0.9. I know you guys were asking for it before I said I wasn't gonna do it, but you know, I like the foam. There you go. Not significantly better, but the machine sounded like it liked it better. Like it wasn't changing, it was just nice, smooth. Now, if you're gonna try to use these orifices on some other electric pressure washer, whether it's a Ryobi, a Craftsman, a Greenworks, please be careful. You can push those units beyond 15 amps, trip your breaker, or hurt the motor. I would stick with the 1.1 if you were using those. I will tell you with these adapters that work with this, that if you have an Ava product, I'd showed before that you really couldn't adapt it. I found these adapters and they work in the Ava as well. These are very common fittings in Europe. So they're sharing, it's not the exact same fitting, but the mail-in fits on most of them. Well, the last thing to do is just to see how long it'll run. I don't ever take this off, so I put an Elay Quick Connect on one of these Gardena style Quick Connects. I'm gonna pop that in here. That way we'll just have a constant flow of water going in. So when we do our run time, it's not running dry, it's running with a load of water. Also allowing us to see how well it does with the water hose hookup, which I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna hook the water hose up, do a quick PSI test to see if it changes at all. Does that change PSI? That does change PSI. We got another 50. Obviously, this thing is pushing a lot through it, making it perform a little bit better, but it gives you that versatility you're looking for. I could take that off, have nothing but distilled water in that for my final spot rinse, or rinseless, or whatever you're gonna have in that tank for that purpose. Your initial rinsing and stuff you can do with this if you have that kind of hookup for water somewhere. So let's see how long that lasts. And we're up close to a gallon per minute. And we went through 8 full gallons so far, actually almost 9 gallons in that. We probably went through a gallon in testing before I did this little setup here. So about 10 minutes worth is done so far. And then we're gonna see how much longer it lasts. If it can get 20 minutes, I think that's pretty good. All right, we got our stopwatch out. Let's run the water. So you saw there, we died at about the 8-minute, 50-second mark. I think you'll definitely be able to get 18 minutes out of it, which is more than enough to wash a car. I didn't try rinseless in this. I probably should have, but it's the consistency of water. It should work just fine, no problem. And any other way that you want to use it, I think it's going to work pretty well. But if you're going to buy it, make sure you get it when it's on a deal. I think it's a pretty good unit. Like I said before, I mentioned I paid about $252 on Prime Big Day deals. I don't have any discount codes or anything like that with them. So the links will be below for Amazon, for anything else in the video as well. Cars with Keith will save you 10% at the House of Rags and DIY Detail. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Has a handle built in. Whoa. I'll take all this crap out of here. So we have a 1.25 in. So we got 4 got pay for that. I didn't tear. Did I tear it out? I don't think I did. Dummy. What just happened? Oh, we're out of water. I totally forgot there's no hose hooked up to it. Our 40-degree vertical. There we go. Whoa, shit. I didn't have it secured. What nozzle is that? That's a 3.0 nozzle, you dum-dum.